Hello and welcome to Janet in Italy, and I have lived in Italy for more than 2 decades. In this video, wintry weather in Tuscany, a visit to Britain and charity shopping, the charity shop haul, and my rug is finally off the loom. I've also knitted a Nordic headband, so get yourself a cup of your favourite cosy hot drink and come and join me. Just look at that view. We've had some real wintry weather lately, and there is snow on the mountains. On my drive down the mountain, I passed these icicles. Now, I haven't seen these for a few years, so this confirms that our winter is colder than the last few years. They are magical though, aren't they? At this time of year is the time that I normally go and see my mum in Britain. My old bedroom brings back many memories, and as I look out onto the fields, I recall walking along the lanes to visit the little donkey and ponies that lived on the farms in the distance. Life was simpler then. I went over to Mum's with my younger daughter, and my elder daughter came down from Scotland for a couple of days. As we all like charity shopping, we seized the opportunity to visit charity shops, both in Mum's hometown and also a nearby town. Now, I didn't film inside the charity shops as I needed both hands free to have a real good rummage. But don't worry, I'll share my haul with you later on in this video. Before our more serious charity shopping, we took Mum on a trip down memory lane to the town where she grew up. It's such a pretty little place. We couldn't resist the temptation of a couple of charity shops there, but only after we'd had a delicious lunch in a local restaurant. We all love the restaurant. It's called the Tree House. Inside, it's decorated just like a tree. It really is an unusual place with delicious food. Our full-on charity shopping day started in another town with breakfast. As my mum is in her 90s, she stayed at home in the warmth while we younger girls went off early. There are lots of nooks and crannies in this town. It's very quaint. The first charity shop we visited is great for furniture, and the others are more concentrated on clothes. We had a quick change to get some low-priced books to bring home, and then it was back to the charity shopping. calling this fabric and yarn shop, but today wasn't the day to do it. So I had a quick look in the window just before one final charity shop and back to Mum's. We took empty suitcases to Mum's and filled them with our purchases before coming home to Italy. Hey everybody, well, I went to visit my mum very recently, and as always, as you saw just previously in this video, I went to lots of charity shops. It's a chance to do charity shopping in a bigger way than I could normally do, although it's not a huge way because you've got to get the stuff back when I go on my own or with my daughters. So this time I went to visit my mum with my younger daughter, and my elder daughter, who now lives in Edinburgh, came down, and we went out one day into a local town and did some thrift shopping. Now I wanted to share with you what I got from this trip, but also some of the things that I got from my previous trip, which I promised to show you but actually didn't get around to doing it. So I will do this trip first. Now, when I go charity shopping, I usually look for the fabric. I'm looking at the rails and I'm feeling the fabric if it looks interesting. And so I'll show you what I got. Now, first up is this skirt. Now, it is too big for me. It's got a lot of fabric and it's like a broderie anglais, which I love. It's also lined because, well, broderie anglais is slightly see-through because it's got holes and it can show off your underwear, and in a skirt you don't really want that. So, I mean, the skirt in itself is lovely. I don't know what brand it is. It's just George, nothing fancy, but I just like the fabric. So what I'm going to do, actually I don't want to look at what I thought it was 100% cotton. I'd be so disappointed if it's a poly cotton. It's a UK size 18, which is way too big for me. Let's have a look. Yep, 100% cotton. I usually look at the label in the shop, and I did. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the elastic out of the skirt, and I'm going to take it apart and maybe make a nice top out of it, or even another skirt, but I just think it would be lovely in a top. Don't know how much fabric I'll get. I guess I'm not going to get very much, not enough for a dress, just isn't enough there, but there's plenty of fabric I could make a nice top out of for the summer. So that is the skirt that I bought. I didn't buy it for the skirt, I bought it for the fabric. Something I didn't buy for the fabric, and I almost feel as though I've let myself down on this, but it ties in with something I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you this first. Again, it's too big for me. I wanted something, I've got no going out clothes, no evening elegant clothes. I wanted, so this just took my eye. I love the sparkle. It still had the tag on, and this was £4. I think the skirt was probably either £2 or £3. It wasn't very much. It's a size large, whereas I'm a size small. But unfortunately, it's polyester, recycled polyester, which is basically plastic, and 5% recycled elastane. It's an H&M top, but I just thought it could look really good. Now, I have tried it on, and it's very gapey where the arms are. I mean, my arms come about here, so it shows off my side bra strap, which I don't want. But I'm going to see what I can do with this. I just noticed it's a little bit ruched at the sides here. I thought I could maybe take it in. It's got a zip closure at the back. I thought I could take it in and make it into a going out top for me, because I've got nothing. I've pared down so many things that I'm scraping the barrel if I want to look particularly glam on a night out. So is that, but I do feel, let me know what you think. Can I justify buying that if it's not a natural fibre? So I'm feeling a little bit disappointed with myself about that. Anyway, something I'm not feeling disappointed about was this cardigan. Again, I looked for fabrics. This looked very interesting when it was on the hanger. And it is a jigsaw cardigan. There it is, all different shades of grey. All different. Everything is meant to be like that. So I looked at the fibre content, and it's 55% wool, 30% cashmere and 15% silk. So I'm very pleased with this. Of course, I grabbed it. I think it was £4. What I did intend to do is take the frill off. I don't like frills. I'm quite a classic plain style person. I just think it's smarter, probably because I'm very short. And the side had a piece of silk fabric all the way down the side. I did notice that it was just placed over the seam, so I thought about taking that off and just having a plain cardigan. Taking that off, taking the frill off. They're just sewn on, nothing fancy. But I live in Italy. I have worn this actually. I went out to lunch last week and I wore this. Went out to lunch. I live in Italy, and to be perfectly honest, in Italy they do tend to gild the lily rather a lot. And it looked okay. It looked okay. So I still have the option of taking off the bottom frill and the sides where it's got the silk ribbon. Another piece of knitwear I bought. Now you might think, why are you buying knitwear when you knit? I do knit, I knit a lot, but I don't knit very fine stuff like this. So I say that cardigan was a jigsaw. This jumper is a Paul Costello. Again, it's a large, and this cost me, I think it was something silly like £1. No, £2. It's on a £2 rail. So again, it's the same sort of shades really. The front is beige, but there's dark grey, there's black. I normally wouldn't wear this style. There are buttons down the side, which I could change out actually, because some of them are chipped, and I could find something nicer to go down the side. The fabric content, it was a pure new wool market, pure merino wool. So again, natural fibre. It's a warm fibre, this. So I got this, even if it's just to hang around my home. So I was pleased with that. That was a bargain. It's been washed and I haven't worn it yet, but I'm quite keen to. I did get some jackets. Now I'll just show you. I'll get them. Now at Christmas time, I have got a velvet long coat. It's like a coat come dress really. It's a long coat. You wear it with something underneath, or you can just wear it for a bit of a androgynous look, just without a top underneath and just button it up, and with some really nice jewellery, and it looked great. So I've been trying to find my style for a long time. I've changed, I've gotten older, and this just looked really good. It's kind of like a bit Kate Blanchett in the beautiful suits that she wears. So I thought I would look for some nice jackets, tailored wear while I was away. So I got a couple. This one is a Next. I think they're both Next. Next tailoring. Yes, this one, a blazer. It is quite fitted. I won't be able to wear it in the summer here because it's just too hot. And I could probably get away with a very flimsy little top underneath in the spring for day wear. If I go anywhere, I would love to find a pair of trousers that match. I'm quite pleased with it. It's quite snug, but since I ate quite a lot whilst I was away, staying with my mum, I know that it would be less snug in a couple of weeks. So I got that jacket. How much was that? No, this was actually £1 because it's got £3.50 on the label, but the charity shop was moving to, it's got 2 shops in that particular town, it was moving to the other premises, and so it was selling everything off Actually got that jacket for £1. This one's from a different shop. This was £6. This is more of an evening-y look. I suppose you could think of it as officey, but I love the lining. And it's more of an evening-y look. It's size 10, which is more my size. I did want oversized really, but I have to watch with the shoulders. Don't mind oversized if they're not too big on the shoulders. So I've got this kind of jacket which I will use for going out, which is why this top caught my eye, because I thought it would go really nicely if I had a very sparkly top inside, especially with the lining. So that's really what prompted me to purchase the sparkly top, because I'd already purchased the jacket. Now I am looking to make some jackets. I know it's going to be difficult and a challenge, because I have made a jacket a long time ago, but it wasn't lined. And I always think you should have a lined jacket because it will keep its shape better. So it's a challenge, and I don't even know when I'm going to be able to get to do that. But I'm just looking for the right fabric. I am fond of pinstripes. I know they can look a little bit over the top sometimes, but I did have a grey pinstripe jacket many years ago, I don't want to say when, and it really looked fantastic. And you always hark back to a memory, don't you, of when things look great. So I've thought about that. Obviously with any kind of a pattern in the fabric, it's difficult to match it all up, but we'll see. I guess it's probably best if I start plain, maybe do a spring and summer trouser suit, which would be nice. But again, big challenge, looking for a fabric at the right price, which is difficult to do. Anyway, apart from clothes, I first bought this. You might think, why did she buy that? And it cost me £4. Now I make cosmetics. I haven't made any for a little while, but you have to grind the colours together and add things in a pestle and mortar. I did buy one, it was probably in a previous video, a larger one, and it was pink. I've not used that because it's really larger than this one, so I thought this would be useful. So I bought this, and actually a few days later I actually found this one, which is even better for cosmetics, and this was £2. So I bought this. I just hope these things, I saw quite a few of these dishes, and the pestle, I think it says pestle, I'll confirm it. If it's not, I'll put it in the video without this part. So I think these get broken quite easily. As you can see, this would fall out very, very easily, but I've got this, and it's now spurring me on to have another go at making some cosmetics. So I got that. Now my previous trip in the autumn, it was to visit my mum and charity shops. I was after crystal, I was actually after glasses. I didn't really see many. I did get some vases and a perfume bottle, which I'll show you now. I did see a beautiful set of glasses, but one of them had a really bad crack in. And you have to be, well, each person is different. I was strict with myself, and I thought I don't want to buy a set of glasses if it's not going to be the full set, because you can't use a glass because it's cracked. So I just left them for somebody else. But I got this vase. It's very heavy, very beautiful, catches the light. I can't remember how much I paid, but I think it was £2 to £3. I also found another vase actually a couple of days later. I just love the shape. Again, it's quite heavy, and I've just bought myself some rose plants. I'm going to have some roses. I chose some of them specifically to be for cut flowers. Now, I'm sorry, my dog is on the balcony outside. She's barking. She barks at everything that goes by because she's protecting us, she thinks. Anyway, I also got this perfume bottle with a stopper. Absolutely gorgeous. And this was £3. And I do have a soft spot for perfume bottles, actually. I love them very much. They don't have to be crystal. I've got a lovely one upstairs. I bought it here I actually think that I shouldn't have bought it at the price, but I just loved it so much, and I think the vendor knew that at the market, so I couldn't haggle it down. I paid too much, but it's beautiful. She said it was Murano glass, which I'm not sure whether it is, but I just liked it anyway. It's pink with a black stopper and looks a little bit Art Deco. But anyway, this is very beautiful, and I do like a glass perfume bottle. I also got this, which is a sugar bowl. I thought I could put little bonbons in it. It's Royal Winton fine porcelain, and it cost me a couple of pounds. It's got gold around the edge. It's very elegant. And what I intended to do was maybe put little bonbons in on the table for special occasions. And you could put sugar lumps in there or sugar, but I just loved it. And unfortunately the rest of the tea set was gone. I don't know why the person that bought the tea set didn't actually buy the little pot there, but they didn't, and I'm really pleased because it was left for me. Anyway, that's my vintage charity shop haul, 2 hauls from Britain, and I love it when we go charity shopping over there because everything is so cheap. It's not quite the same over here. It's very difficult to get a real bargain, but they can be found. But I'm pleased with what I got. We generally we book on a big suitcase, put a little suitcase inside, and then we fill them. So this is my haul, and as I went with my daughter, her haul was much bigger than mine, and so we managed to fill the cases and we came back. I just changed seats for a moment, and I wanted to show you my rug that I was weaving is now off the loom. And what I need to do is just, oh, the cat's got my phone. This always happens. Mr. Darce. What I actually need to do now is to check my picture. Anyway, that was okay. My rug is off my loom, as I said, and what I need to do is just sew in these ends. Mr. Darcy's come back. Well, you know, they do say never film with animals and children. Mr. Darcy was very tranquil before when I was showing you my haul. I think I'm going to have to put him into the other room. Right, Mr. Darcy and Mr. Barron, who came in, are now in another room. They probably want to come back in a moment. Anyway, I'm busy sewing in the ends here. I'm also this morning I have been working on this part here. So it's very long, this rug. I've just been, there's no fringe because this won't make a very good fringe. So this is carpet warp. I'm just sort of, it's about 1 centimetre, just sewing it in for about 1 centimetre. So I've done quite a lot. I've only got a little way to go now, and then I'll get on to sewing in the ends. This rug is very long. What I would normally do would be to put a marker. So every time I weave, say 10 or 20 centimetres, I put a little stitch marker on the side so that at the end I can count them up and I know just how long I've done. Absolutely love this though. Considering I wasn't sure about this dark wool, this yarn that I'd spun. I absolutely love it. I love it to bits, and the best parts of this rug are the parts that are made with my own homespun yarn. This is thin. I can't get it much wider on my loom. I have a 65 centimetre loom. I could have gone a little bit wider. So it's long and narrow. I've done a lot more than I need. What I'm going to try and do is to just sew it, cut it in half and sew it this way. So there's not going to be any particular consistency in stripes going across, but it'll make a shorter, squarer type of a rug, which I've had a look in my room where it's going to go, and I think it will be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. So I was hoping to show you my finished rug in this video, but instead I still need to do some work on it, but I love it so much. It's wonderful. I'm going to enjoy it, and I would like it to look fantastic. I'm not one of these very self-critical, and I think when you're learning, you shouldn't be self-critical, not too hard on yourself. But when you get to a certain standard, in order to improve, I think you should accept things a little bit less so that you can watch out for them and, improve your work. So I'm hoping that it's going to look on the better side of okay in my bedroom. And actually, this is so wonderfully warm. If I made another couple of these and stitch them together, and you could have, I'd call it a knee snuggler. You could have something that goes around your knees and it'd be so warm. Maybe a runner for your bed. I'm just totally enthusiastic about this. I'm really in love with it, and maybe be the first of many. Considering it's made out of my leftovers, I've got a lovely rug for my bedroom now, so that when I'm walking across my room near my dressing table, I'll have warm feet. Another thing I'm working on, and I did it because I just had to knit it, was before I did the casting on to do my swatch for my dark navy mohair cardigan. After a visit to Abitone, which is a ski resort near us, I got enthusiastic for ski wear and this headband. So I made this out of some of actually it's made out of the same yarn as this jumper, this iron jumper that I knitted. And the blue I did on a drop spindle. I spun it on a drop spindle a couple of years ago. I had a little bit of blue left. The creamy white, which is the same as this one, I processed. It was processed from in the grease spinning from a raw fleece, and then I processed it and spun it. And anyway, I've knit into this headband, so I just need to sew in my loose ends from the little bit of Fair Isle design I did on it. And then I actually have a hat that matches this. I knitted a hat a couple of years ago, my homespun, and you don't always want to wear a hat, do you? So I shall wear this as a hairband, and it also keep my ears warm and keep my hair out of the way, or protect it if the weather's doing funny things. So these are my two things I need to finish. This year is going to be a year of finish the project. I don't want to have any projects hanging on, because I feel as though it's there all the time. I like to finish a project. So I'll make sure I finish that, and then get started and finish my merino cardigan. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would be so grateful if you could do so, because it supports me so much and it helps me to bring you more content. I'd also be grateful if you consider buying me a coffee in the link above. I think it's €1. If you wish to do so, that helps support my channel for materials and such like. And hit that notification bell, because you'll be the first to hear as to whether or not I've actually finished my projects. So see you next time.